Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So Netflix just released their new comedy movie, The Lovebirds. And with all the stuff to watch, both on Netflix and other streaming services, the question is it worth the time for you to sit down and watch it? Let's find out. The story follows Gibran and Leilani, a couple who have been together for many years but are now having trouble in their relationship, like most couples do. While going to a party at a friend's house, they accidentally get embroiled in a murder plot, and in an effort to clear their names, they attempt to find the murderer themselves. So the movie basically has two concurrent plot threads running at the same time. One is the murder mystery plot thread, and that's cool, offers a lot of fun opportunities for comedy. Super great. The other storyline in the movie is all about the relationship of Gibran and Leilani. And the thing that makes this work, the thing that makes it so impactful for the story is the chemistry of the main actors, Kumail, Nanjiani, and Issa. And they are so good. They have such good chemistry. They really feel like a couple who've been together a long time. And they just elevate every scene they're in together. And they're in basically every scene in the movie. It just ups the ante and the feeling of quality throughout the whole film. In terms of the individual performances of the lead actors, I think Issa did a really good job. She's really strong and feisty at times. She's really vulnerable at other times. And she feels like a really fully fleshed out character who's got a lot of facets to her personality. So I really liked her performance. Kumail Nanjiani, on the other hand, I think his performance was just too similar to the performance he gave in The Big Sick. Now, I love The Big Sick. I think that's a great movie. And I think his performance in The Lovebirds is good. I think it is effective and it gets the point across. But I just think he could have developed his character a bit more than he did. Do I think it's terrible? Not at all. It's just a little disappointing. So this is a comedy movie, and comedy movies tend to mix and match the types of comedy they use for any given scene or any given moment, obviously. And this movie uses three main types to varying amounts and to varying levels of success. First type they use is physical comedy. They use this the least. People fall down, or they break something, or just over-the-top goofiness. The second type of comedy they use is relationship comedy. So it's comedy based around these two people who've been in a long-term relationship and their kind of negative feelings or making fun of each other. And that stuff is very successful, very well done for the movie, and it's actually really, really funny. The third type of comedy used in the movie is conversation comedy, but it's not just conversation comedy. It's like gone a level beyond that into something like argumentative comedy, where you just have people kind of yelling at each other back and forth, like na 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 na, and they're going back and forth endlessly. And they use this style of comedy the most. I never find this style of comedy funny. It's just so annoying because it's just noise. And they try to play it off because other characters in the movie are reacting to the main couple in the movie arguing like this and being like, wow, those people are weird, or they got problems. But it doesn't make it funny. It just confirms the fact that I hate it for good reason. Like, it's just really grating. So there are so many scenes I wanted to fast forward past these moments because they are just so frustrating. So if you're a person who just can't stand that kind of comedy, I don't know if this one's going to work for you, honestly. So in terms of some of the technical stuff, I think the camera work was very simple but effective at telling the story. Everything was very cleanly laid out, visually appealing. The lighting, same thing. Nothing too fancy, but it was all solid, well done. I think the biggest thing I appreciate about the production values is the number of locations and the variance in the style of locations. Now, this is a pretty simple movie. Story isn't super complex, and you could have done this story without this many locations. But they decided to give us a lot of very different and very distinct locations that all have their own personality, and they all feel lived in, and they all feel real. You know, every couple scenes we're getting something different. We're getting a different feeling from the scene. And it just helps keep the energy of the film high, and it keeps things really cool. So this film is not the first movie to take the idea of a relationship and an action movie and kind of slamming them together. Now, this isn't really an action movie per se, it's more of a mystery movie, but still this whole concept has been explored before. I mean, Mr. and Mrs. Smith is one, The Incredibles 2, True Lies is another one. I think there's just a lot of films that have taken this concept of relationships and fusing them with action or mystery or what have you. So it's not a new concept, but I think they do a good enough job here of combining these two elements. With all that being said, my final rating for The Lovebirds is going to be a 6 out of 10. I think this is a well-made comedy movie. It's not amazing. It doesn't, think outside the box. It doesn't revolutionize anything. It just does what it wanted to do well enough, and it offers really nice performances from Kumail Nanjiani and Issa with their chemistry. Just makes the film so much better. And if you are a person who doesn't mind like conversation argument comedy, I think this movie is going to rate way higher for you, because it just drove me up the wall. But overall, I think it's very watchable. Great date night movie. Really great to sit down with your partner, or your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever. It doesn't matter. Sit down and watch it. It's a good, fun popcorn movie, and pretty inoffensive, pretty fun. Thanks so much for watching my review of Lovebirds. If you guys like the content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot.